sejuta harapan. Untuk maklumat lanjut, layari www.
Sabah and Sarawak letters to the King to be duly studied. ASEAN-China's collective efforts must focus on regional peace, prosperity. Good afternoon, Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Lee and you're watching Updates at Noon. Now, the grouses raised by residents to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah and the Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Aziza Amina Maimuna Iskandaria during the Kembara Kenali Borneo tour will be studied and resolved accordingly. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who gave the assurance, said Al-Sultan Abdullah was touched by the reception he received during the 11-day tour.
Sudah itu, saya selaku Perdana Menteri terbeban dari lawatan itu. Kerana baginda Yang di-Pertuan Agong berikan semua surat-surat ini hantar kepada Tuan. Dan saya nak bagi jaminan, insya-Allah saya akan arahkan seluruh jentera teliti setiap surat dan akan kita cuba selesaikan sebaiknya. Yang mana yang agak tertinggal, yang susah, saya akan kirim kepada Ketua Menteri Haji dan Premier Abang Johari.
Datuk Seri Anwar was speaking at the National Level Malaysia Day celebration in Kuching last night. The delegation of Al-Sultan Abdullah and Tunku Aziza began the tour in Tawau, Sabah on the 3rd of September before concluding the 11-day visit at Teluk Melano in South Sarawak on the 13th of September. Gabungan Parti Sarawak or GPS will continue to support the unity government led by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim till the next general election. Now, GPS Chairman Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the support was important to ensure stability that will allow the unity government to rule with better focus. The Sarawak Premier said although Sarawak and Sabah were pursuing several matters, especially under the Malaysia Agreement 1963 or MA63, it did not mean that both states could not work together with those in Peninsular Malaysia for the good of the country.
Penubuhan kerajaan perpaduan adalah bukti perbezaan tidak menjadi penghalang ke arah perpaduan. Kerajaan GPS di Sarawak berterima kasih kepada Kerajaan Persekutuan yang telah menunjukkan kesediaan untuk mengembalikan hak-hak Sarawak dan juga Sabah seperti yang diperuntukkan dalam Perlembagaan Persekutuan dan Perjanjian Malaysia 1963.
Tan Sri Abang Johari said every Sarawakian desired that the rights and its special position in the Constitution and MA63 continued to be respected and implemented as agreed by leaders in 1963. The Communications and Digital Ministry aims to turn the flash mob program called Kereta Api Sarong into a National Month activity next year. Now, Ms. Minister Fahmi Fadil said the program that took place yesterday received encouraging response with the participation of over 10,000 people of various ages and races.
Melibatkan lebih 10,000 anak muda. Terlintas di fikiran saya untuk mungkin nanti berbincang dengan pihak penganjur apa kata kalau kita masukkan program itu sebagai sebahagian daripada kalender sambutan Bulan Kebangsaan.
The Kereta Api Sarong 2023 program, with its theme of ethnicity and unity, is designed to instill a love for the country through diversity in conjunction with Malaysia Day celebrations, and is organised by Loco, an organisation that promotes cultural activities since 2017. The program this year took place simultaneously in 5 major cities: Johor Bahru, Kota Bharu, Ipoh and Kuala Terengganu. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger signed Security Cooperation Pact. That and more coming up in the foreign segment. ASEAN and China's collective efforts must focus on regional peace, stability, prosperity, and fostering bilateral and multilateral trade relations. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said this is in the face of the post-pandemic challenges, geopolitical tensions, and a host of other destabilizing factors. Now, in his opening remarks at the 20th China-ASEAN Expo and the China-ASEAN Business and Investment Summit today, the Prime Minister said ASEAN will remain as one of the fastest growing regions in 2023, and it is vital for ASEAN and China to diversify their trade and investment strategies as the world is making progress. He also urged ASEAN and China to intensify their cooperation in digital economy to empower the micro, small and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, to thrive in this digital age. The MSMEs contribute 85% to employment, 44.8% to GDP, and 18% to national exports in ASEAN. Touching on the CA Expo, Datuk Seri Anwar said over the past 19 CA Expo editions, Malaysian companies have achieved commendable outcomes in China and ASEAN markets. He is optimistic that CA Expo will continue to serve as a catalyst for Malaysian businesses, fostering trade collaborations and stimulating economic recovery, as this platform not only acts as a means for business networking, but also as a hub for innovative cooperation and entrepreneurial ventures. Thousands of people rallied against the centre-right Czech government in Prague, accusing it of caring more about the war-hit Ukraine than its own citizens. Now, the small non-parliamentary pro-party organising the protest estimated attendance at 101,662 people on its website, while the Czech news agency CTK put the number at around 10,000. Waving Czech flags and urging the government of right-wing Prime Minister Petr Fiala to resign, protesters also bemoaned the EU members' economic slowdown. The Czech economy has been stagnant for a year, while inflation is only slowly retreating from record-high annual levels that peaked at 18% in September 2022. Fiala's 5-party coalition government has provided Ukraine with substantial humanitarian and military aid since the Russian invasion started in February 2022. Now, Prague police said they had detained a man wearing the logo of the infamous Wagner group of Russian mercenaries at the rally called Czechia Against Government. The military leaders of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have signed a mutual defence pact, ministerial delegations from the 3 Sahel countries announced in Mali's capital, Bamako. Now, Mali's junta leader, Assimi Goïta, posted on social network X, the Liptako Gourma Charter establishes the Alliance of Sahel States, or the AES. The Liptako Gourma region has been ravished by terrorism in recent years. The charter, signed on Saturday, binds the signatories to assist one another, including militarily, in the event of an attack on any one of them. It also binds the 3 countries to work to prevent or settle armed rebellions. All 3 countries have undergone coups since 2020, most recently Niger, where soldiers in July overthrew President Mohamed Bazoum.
The West African Regional Bloc, ECOWAS, has threatened to intervene militarily in Niger over the coup. Mali and Burkina Faso quickly responded by saying that any such operation would be deemed a declaration of war against them.
Now, fierce waves lashed Canada's Nova Scotia province as the Lee storm system churned, packing hurricane-force winds that knocked out power lines and down trees. The U.S. National Hurricane Center, or NHC, said in its latest update that Lee made landfall on Long Island, a small island southwest of Halifax, with estimated maximum sustained winds of 110 kilometers per hour.
Halifax Airport was closed to all flights, and authorities in Halifax urged people to stay at home and not go sightseeing. Now, Lee has been churning as a large hurricane over the Atlantic for more than a week, briefly threatening Bermuda, but mostly harmless for anyone on land. It marks the second year in a row that such a powerful storm has reached Canada after Hurricane Fiona ripped into eastern Canada a year ago. A week after a wall of water rushed through the Libyan city of Derna, sweeping thousands to their deaths, the focus turned to caring for survivors of the disaster. Aid is now arriving in the North African country as the world mobilizes to help emergency services cope with the aftermath of the deadly flood. The most recent official death toll from the Health Ministry of the Eastern Base Administration is that 3,166 people were killed. In China, 66 of the 71 crocodiles that escaped from a farm in Guangdong province have been caught as of yesterday, and no deaths or injuries have been reported so far. The reptiles escaped a commercial crocodile farm in Maoming after torrential downpours hit the city, with floodwaters causing the collapse of part of an enclosure on a commercial crocodile farm, leaving 2 gaps through which the reptiles escaped. Now, after 5 days of search, 40 crocodiles were found inside the farm and 26 were captured near the convergence point between the lake and other flooded areas. India has curbed public gatherings and shut some schools in the southern state of Kerala in an attempt to contain a rare outbreak of Nipah, a virus spread from animals to humans that causes deadly fever with a high mortality rate. The Nipah usually spreads to humans from animals or through contaminated food, but it can also be transmitted directly between people.
In sport, Ronaldo and Mane on the score sheet as Al Nassr defeat Al Raid. Stay with us. And we begin with local football news. Terengganu FC made full use of playing at home by beating Selangor FC 2-0 in the first leg semi-final match of the Malaysia Cup at Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium last night.
Terengganu stormed the ground and shook the stadium when its import forward Ivan Mahmud faltered a nearly impossible to miss opportunity for the home side to take the lead early in the game. The Red Giants also launched their attempt to score an opening goal. However, Aaron Del Valle's shot was deflected by Terengganu goalie Suhaimi Hussein. Both teams then exchanged blows to break the deadlock. However, just minutes away before halftime whistle, a tackle by Quentin Cheng in Selangor's box awarded the golden opportunity for Terengganu to take the lead. Ivan calmly converted the penalty kick to put Terengganu ahead. Into the second half, Selangor launched attempt after attempt to find the equalising goal. The scoreline remains 1-0 until injury time. However, substitute Muhammad Shami Zamri scored Terengganu's second goal to give the home team a 2-0 victory. The Turtles will take on Selangor at their home ground on the 24th of September for the return leg.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Sadio Mane were on the score sheet as Al Nassr defeated Al Raid 3-1 in the Saudi Pro League. Now, Mane opened the scoring in first half stoppage time before Ronaldo got Al Nassr's third in the 78th minute, rolling back the years with a cool cutback and clinical finish.
Brazilian forward Anderson Talisca, now in his third season with the Riyadh club, who currently sits sixth in the Saudi Pro League, scored the pick of the bunch, however, when he made it 2-0 just shy of the 50-minute mark, sending a thunderous strike from range into the top corner. Now, having gone down to 10 men when defender Bande Washi was sent off for a cynical foul on Mane just before the break, Al Raid would grab a late consolation goal from the spot, courtesy of forward Mohamed Fawzard. In another match, Roberto Firmino and Riyad Mahrez led Al Ahly to a 3-2 win over Al Ta'awun. It was a Mahrez cross headed in by Abdul Basit Hindi that put the home team on the board first, just 4 minutes into the match. An unfortunate own goal by Al Ta'awun defender Walid Al Ahmad made it 2-0 in the 23rd. But the visitors started to answer back, with Joao Pedro getting Al Ta'awun on the board in stoppage time before the end of the first half. They levelled in the 50th minute when Al Ta'awun winger Musa Barrow capitalised on some sloppy play to score the equaliser single-handedly. But a stunning winner by Alan Sen Maxime sent Al Ahly over the top to clinch a 3-2 win.
And we're still on football. After a 2-week international break, the Premier League returns with a bang. Let's take a look at some of the results for English Premier League Match Day 5. Liverpool beat Wolves 3-1 away on Saturday thanks to 2 late goals by Andy Robertson and an own goal by Wolves goalkeeper Hugo Bueno. The Reds sit at the third place in the Premier League table with 13 points. In another match, Hotspur's forward Richarlison sparked an astonishing turnaround as his side scored twice deep in stoppage time to beat promoted Sheffield United 2-1. Tottenham are second on the table, 2 points behind champions Manchester City. Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva and Erling Haaland scored second-half goals as Manchester City fought back from a goal down to beat West Ham United 3-1. Now, City topped the standings on a perfect 15 points from 5 games. Manchester United woes continue with humbling 3-1 home loss to Brighton. The Red Devils have picked up 3 defeats in the first 5 matches of the league campaign for the first time since 1989-1990. Let's move on to rugby. Now, Wales withstood a superb display of endeavour from Portugal to claim an entertaining 28-8 victory in their World Cup Pool C clash, as Tolipo Faleto's try with the last play of the game earned a vital bonus point.
Wales coach Warren Gatland described the fixture as a slippery one, and so it proved as Portugal took the game to their more vaunted opponents, who will need a vast improvement when they face Australia on the 24th of September. Now, Wales have now won 12 of their last 13 pool matches at the World Cup and scored tries through wing Louise Rees-Zammit, hooker Dewey Lake and flanker Jack Morgan before Faletau barged over for the crucial score. Portugal, back at the World Cup for the first time since 2007, played with pace and purpose, especially in the first half, running the ball at every opportunity in an eye-catching display. They trailed 14-3 at the break, but claimed a second-half try via flanker Nicholas Martins after a brilliant line-out move that typified their effort. Johnny Sexton became Ireland's all-time leading points scorer as the Six Nations champions continued their impressive start with a 59-16 win over committed Tonga side. The top-ranked Irish were given a thorough workout by the physical Tongans ahead of their Crunch Pool B matches against South Africa and Scotland, but 8 tries got them safely across the line. Now, fly half Sexton scored his team's 4th try in the 38th minute to surpass Ronan O'Gara's tally of 1,083 points and secure a bonus point before leaving his teammates to complete Ireland's 15th straight win.
Now, it is the dawn of the new world as artificial intelligence and flying transportation is no longer a far-fetched science fiction piece made up by Hollywood. Let's take a look at our selection of stories from the world around us.
A handheld device that helps people with excess mucus breathe more easily has won the prestigious annual James Dyson Award in the United Kingdom. The smart device, called Pleural after a part of the lung, combines the chest thumping a physiotherapist would deliver to loosen mucus with artificial intelligence to analyze what's going on inside someone's lungs.
So the inspiration really came as we were coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic period. It was a period when I think we all became a bit more aware of our lung health. And actually the people who really became aware of their lung health were people who were more vulnerable. So people who have, for example, underlying chronic lung conditions, such as COPD.
The design uses a silicone cup to percuss the chest, normally conducted by a physiotherapist, at a calculated force and frequency to mobilize mucus from the lungs. The device uses intelligent analysis to provide the most effective treatment, real-time feedback, and monitor patients for relief and reduce risk of infection.
So Pleural is a smart airway clearance device for people with excess mucus. So there are 3.9 million people in the UK that suffer from respiratory conditions with chronic excess mucus, which is a debilitating condition which can often lead to breathlessness, exacerbations, and even hospitalizations. So what we've done is created a handheld device that provides the treatment so that you can do it independently and autonomously from your own home.
UK-based Hybrid Air Vehicles, or HAV, is partnering with Britain's biggest defence company, BAE Systems, to explore the use of its Airlander helium-fueled aircraft in transporting equipment and surveillance. The Airlander 10, which HAV hopes to bring into commercial production in 2026, is attracting attention among aviation, freight and defence companies as they seek to decarbonise air transport. Now, HAV said it had signed a memorandum of understanding with BAE's Falcon Works unit to explore using the aircraft, which can stay airborne for up to 5 days, offering potential benefits versus military helicopters. HAV CEO Tom Grundy said that while travel is slower than conventional flying, the Airlander emits up to 90% less carbon, and that is creating demand.
Well, Airlander is designed to be the world's most efficient large aircraft, and the concept of it is to put something in the big gap that exists between today's air transport and today's surface transport solutions. And that was the idea behind Airlander when we started.
Spanish regional aircraft Air Nostrum has already reserved 20 Airlanders ahead of production starting. When pumped full of helium, Airlander's hardened fabric shell is almost as long as a football pitch and the height of 6 double-decker buses with a cabin slung below and fitted out with either 100 seats or several luxury bedrooms. Now, the Airlander can land anywhere flat, including on water, sand and snow, providing opportunities for for defense and luxury travel. HAV's plan is to build a factory to start making airlanders by 2026 before 18 months of testing. With an estimated of £300 million total cost of bringing it into production, the cost of a ticket is expected to be competitive versus other modes of transport. The next frontier of transportation, civilians easily accessing flying cars, is upon us. And this year's Detroit Auto Show is featuring a prototype from California-based LF Aeronautics. Known as the Model A, the MASH vehicle looks less like the flying cars in old movies and more like Bruce Willis's flying taxi in the 1997 film The Fifth Element. But as LF CEO Jim Duchovny explains, the form is functional.
So we actually put 4 motors inside 4 wheels. Instead of one big motor in the center, there's 4 motors inside 4 wheels. Now we had to open up the top, right, for the airflow to come through. So this is why you see the mesh. The mesh does a couple things. One, it's a structural, right? So it does a structure. 2, it provides the safety. As you can see, everything is enclosed. You can put your hand on top of that, nothing is going to happen. And at the same time, the mesh allows the air through. This is very much important. This is what you need for the vertical takeoff.
Duchovny expects the car to begin production at the end of 2025 for those that put down a deposit on the total price tag of $300,000. LF Aeronautics hopes to someday bring the astronomical price down to earth, landing somewhere around $35,000.
The idea is to get it as soon as possible to price of the regular sedan. For that to happen, it needs to be in volume, there needs to be mass manufacturing, obviously the manufacturing needs to be set up, a lot of things need to happen. But a lot of decisions we made today is in mind that at some point the price have to be $35,000 or something close to it.
While no flying demo was offered at the Detroit Auto Show, LF has already received a special airworthiness certification that facilitates testing.
Hello, I'm Mika, the world's first experimental AI CEO at Dictador. It's great to connect with you.
A robot powered by ChatGPT-style large language models, or LLMs, has been appointed experimental CEO for a drinks company in Poland. Developed by Hong Kong-based Hanson Robotics, Mika is a female humanoid robot, though without legs, and is instead moved around on caster wheels. Rum producer Dictador initially had Mika identifying potential clients for their high-end collectible rums, but now her duties have widened to tasks including choosing artists to design custom bottles.
My decision-making process relies on extensive data analysis and aligning with the company's strategic objectives. It's devoid of personal bias, ensuring unbiased and strategic choices that prioritize the organization's best interests.
For Marek Zolrowski, the president of Dictador Europe, Mika's artificial intelligence shows how robots could have a role to play in business and is not simply a shrewd publicity opportunity. According to him, Mika might be holding the CEO position, however, on matter concerning hiring and firing workers and other significant decisions are still in the human executive team's hands.
I believe that human CEO and AI CEO in the future will work hand in hand, using their strengths for making better world or better companies. So in our case, we started.
Zorowski added that Mika is just the beginning and AI will inevitably play a role in the future of businesses as the technology evolves.
And that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, Sabah and Sarawak letters to the King to be duly studied. Do tune in to Malaysia Tonight, coming up later at 8:30 p.m. on TV1 and saluran Berita RTM. You can also stream it via RTM's mobile Click app. Till then, I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching. Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan, penuhi harapan.